Wonderful. We're to honor time. We're going to go ahead and get started. And like I said, I'll continue to let people in as Rachel is starting the presentation. But first of all, I just wanted to say a happy Wednesday and welcome. Thank you for taking time today to explore. Um, this is Banyan's first group. I want to say it's a detox, but it's not harsh. So it's a detoxing safely. This is the first time we've done this, so I'm so glad to have you guys here. It's a great time of the year to release and cleanse and purge and reset. Weather is really great for this, so welcome. Uh, my name is Mel. Many of you know me, and I am co-founder and the hat wearer of many things for Banyan. And I believe, as Banyan believes, that wellness, choice, access, and experience is a human right. We should all have access to these types of wellness tools. And this is a hot topic in nutrition. There's a lot of ways to detox that can be really rough on your body and probably not the best. And there's plenty of ways to cleanse and detox and reset that's safe, it's nourishing. You see massive effects from brain to sleep to body and stamina, and that's what we're going to get into today. So thank you for showing up for yourself. And we want to just welcome Rachel. This is her first time teaching with us. We're going to pass it to Rachel so she can get us going, get us started, and teach us all of her ways. Here we go.
Hi, welcome everybody. I'm really excited to be here. I want to thank Mel and Banyan for allowing me to be a part of this. I think it's a really exciting endeavor that they've created, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. And yeah, so my name is Rachel Turner Williams, and I'm a holistic nutrition practitioner up in Boonville, California, which is, I don't know if any of you have heard of it. It's a very small town up in Northern California. I have a background, both an environmental and public health background. I'm really passionate about food and how it relates both to human health and planetary health. I work one-on-one with clients to help them figure out and meet their wellness and nutrition goals. I'm also a food and nutrition educator and a local food and farm advocate, activist, and writer. So that's just a little bit about myself. And as Mel said, of course, my big goal today is to hopefully give you all the tools to support your body through a gentle 7-day reset program. And so in doing that, I what I thought would happen this evening is I have a presentation that I wanted to share that will just take us through all the basics of what's entailed with this reset program, just kind of the hows and the whats, and just kind of give you a feel for what to expect over the course of the week. And then I'm going to do a little mini food demonstration with one of the recipes that is a part of the reset program. It's actually a smoothie, so we'll do that a little bit later. And then I want to be sure and leave a lot of time for any questions and make sure that you're feeling prepared to kick this off. Today's Wednesday, so the hope is that this all starts Monday morning for us. So that's sort of the logistics of what I wanted to do. And I'm going to go ahead and hopefully share my screen so that I can start up my presentation. Hopefully this will work. Okay, I think you probably all see that now. Also, I don't feel like you need to be frantically taking notes. I'm a note taker just because, like what Mel said, it helps me cement information, but you're going to get all of this information in the workbook that you'll have access to after this session. So don't feel like you're going to miss something if you don't get it. Like if you just want to sit back and kind of take it in the first time visually and audially, that's fine. So either way, I just want to let you know that. So what exactly is a seasonal reset? It can be super helpful to give our bodies a bit of a break and some extra attention and TLC at least a few times every year, especially at the change of seasons. And each season kind of necessitates a different area of focus in terms of wellness. And what I'll be speaking to today, of course, is about summer, since that's the season that we're heading into. And summer is this time of very high energy and heat and light and expansion. People tend to be out and about more and energetic. So the idea here is to help your body welcome the season and to harness the energy and vibrancy that comes with it. And I want to explain the overall goals. And Mel really said it right when she said, this is absolutely not meant to be a hardcore detox protocol. I think that there definitely can be a time and a place for a more intense cleanse, depending on what's going on in your body and in your life. But that's something that I feel really strongly needs to be looked at on an individual basis rather than a group like one size fits all plan. Our bodies all have very unique nutritional needs and different detoxification and metabolic pathways that would need to be tailored to specifically before doing something really intense like that. And if we didn't do that, it could actually cause more harm than good. So the goal here is to just very gently support your body's own detoxification, cleansing, and immune functions using seasonal whole foods and lifestyle practices. And this should feel pleasant and gentle and nourishing, rejuvenating, pampering. It's not meant to feel harsh or uncomfortable or self-punishing or depleting or exhausting. I know I can speak for myself doing cleanses in the past that have left me feeling completely exhausted or depleted, and that is definitely not what we're going for here. I actually want this to feel like you're giving yourself a gift this week, like it's maybe a mini vacation of some sort where your whole focus is going to be on yourself and your body, on your wellness, and on the abundance of everything that is out this time of year. So that's sort of the idea behind it. And then in doing this, the hope is that within a number of days, you'll feel a renewed sense of energy and lightness and vibrancy. If we periodically give our bodies a break like this and a bit of a reset and really put some intention into how we're feeding and treating ourselves, then we're giving our bodies a chance to function optimally, like at their absolute optimal level. And that means thinking more clearly, having more energy, better digestion, glowing, radiant skin, and just that overall sense of lightness and happiness in your body. So those are really the goals that we're going for. And so what exactly is this going to look like? First of all, you're going to be making a 7-day commitment to yourself to follow through with these goals. And there's really 3 major components to this. The first is taking a break from the foods that are more likely to slow down or hinder our detoxification and digestive systems. And instead, we're going to be focusing heavily on foods that are really supportive of those systems instead, and leaning on all the abundant produce that's available right now to do that. And then the third component is I'll be going over various daily practices that you can incorporate into this reset to really make the most out of this time that you're giving yourself. And the more of these that you choose to incorporate, the more you're going to get out of this time, and the more your body will thrive. So those are the three main components. So in order to really give our bodies a chance to reboot, we need to take a break from some foods that are common sources of inflammation, digestive distress, and blood sugar disruption. And again, this isn't meant to be punitive. I'm not saying you can't ever have your favorite food, again, by any means. These will all be here waiting for you if you choose when you're done with your reset. It's my hope that I'll be providing you with a toolkit of sorts to replace these foods with other supportive foods that should help you to miss them less. And a lot of people find actually after taking a break from these foods that they end up craving them less anyway and afterwards. And some even decide to omit one or more of them long term because they find that they just feel better without them. You're likely to be learning a lot about your relationship with these foods by taking a break from them. So during this time, I'm recommending that you take a break from all processed foods. Those are at the very top of my list. These tend to have a lot of added chemicals and preservatives, stuff that our bodies are not meant to process. So just give your body a break from anything processed. The focus is all on whole foods here instead. And well, really closely related to processed foods, we'll also be taking a break from refined sugars and flours of any kind. So regardless of whether they're gluten-free or not, we're going to be taking a break from those really refined carbohydrates that tend to spike your blood sugar. And they give your liver a lot to deal with that we don't want to be dealing with right now. If you're really craving sweets, you can certainly have fresh fruit during this, and there will be recipes that I share that might meet a sweet craving using more supportive foods. So those you'll have access to. I'm also suggesting that you take a break from any gluten-containing grains. So even if they are whole grains in that case, just staying away from gluten, dairy, and alcohol as well, because they all add unnecessary irritation and burden to our detox and digestive systems. And I'll be providing you with, again, like satisfying substitutions and ideas that you can try instead of those to help with any cravings. Oh, actually, let me go back there. I did want to make a point that even though it says, we're staying away from the gluten-containing grains, you can definitely have non-gluten whole grains. So things like brown rice and quinoa and oats. Those are all, in their whole form without the gluten. Those are fine. Okay. So it can also be nice to give our adrenals and our nervous system a bit of a break by reducing caffeine, if that's something that you regularly consume a lot of. And if it is something that you do daily, I'm definitely not suggesting that you eliminate it cold turkey during the 7 days, because caffeine withdrawals are real and they can be extremely painful and they can last 2 to 10 days. And I really do want this to be pleasant for you. But if you're used to having caffeine daily, you may want to consider either limiting it to 1 cup a day, or even experiment with mixing a ratio with decaf, or trying to switch to a nice green tea or another caffeinated tea that will have less caffeine but a lot of good benefits. Just to kind of it'll be less taxing on our adrenals and our nervous system. So let's see. And if you're interested actually in giving up caffeine long term, you can also use this as a time to gradually start weaning yourself, so that it can be a slow process that isn't painful. But the idea there is to reduce or limit if that's something that you're doing a lot of. And so whenever I do any kind of cleanse or a diet reboot, I find it really helpful to focus on all the good stuff I'm adding in instead of fixating on what I cannot have, just because that can bother me personally. So this is a really great time of year to just get an infusion of fresh and lightly cooked vegetables and fruits. You you're going to want to try to be filling your plate with at least half of them. Just get all this wonderful stuff into us, all these antioxidants that are going to be helping with detox. Um, and smoothies and fresh pressed juices can be a great part of a reboot, especially during these warm months like now. And I have lots of ideas in there that you can incorporate if you're interested, including the one I'll be doing a little demo of later. And I'd like to encourage you to incorporate vegetables that are particularly supportive of your liver and detox system. And this includes things like leafy greens and all the cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower and kale, and also vegetables like onions and garlic and ginger, spirulina, chlorella. Those are all really supportive of detoxification. So it's good to get those. So fiber is also really helpful and supportive in your body's detoxification process. So you want to make sure you're getting a lot of foods that are high in fiber during this time. So this is your fruits and vegetables and those whole grains that don't contain gluten, nuts and seeds. Those are all really high in fiber. And you can also consider adding a fiber supplement if you want to further that detoxification. And I am going to get into the supplements a little bit later, so I'll talk a little bit more about that. And aside from helping with detox, the fiber is going to help you feel more satisfied, which is really important. And along the same lines, you're going to want to be sure that you're getting healthy fats and proteins throughout the day as well, because those will help with keeping satisfied and balancing out your macronutrients and giving you energy. And so some examples of healthy fats include avocado and olives and olive oil, nuts and seeds, and those cold water fatty fish. And then some good protein sources would be whole grains paired with legumes or eggs, meats, fish, nuts, seeds, tofu, and other soy products. Or soy, I guess we don't want to say products because we're staying away from processed, but so yeah, tofu or the soybeans themselves. I also can't emphasize enough how important it is to really stay hydrated during this time. Water is vital for all of our bodily processes, and it helps us to maintain energy and it helps to clear out toxins. So you want to be aiming to get at the very least 2 liters of fluid every day. And that's just the bare minimum. And this can include a lot of water, of course, but it can also include herbal teas and vegetable juices, mineral and bone broths. So all those liquids you can just get going through your system. You can also try infusing your water with fresh herbs and fruits, just to make it tastier and a little bit more nutritious. I have lots of ideas for that in the workbook to give you some fun ideas to play with that. And sparkling water is also a fun way to hydrate and maybe feel like you're getting a bit of a treat if you add in some fresh fruit and stuff. So that those are the main food rules, if you want to call them rules, that we'll be focusing on. But I also wanted to, like I said, I have some daily practices as well to kind of build in along with our food parameters. So again, I really want this to feel like a mini retreat for you. You're giving yourself this time as a gift for this week. And I want you to really nourish and pamper yourself and check in with yourself. Ask yourself, where are you right now? What's your body trying to tell you? We often go through our day-to-day lives without giving much thought to what our bodies are trying to tell us. And sometimes they're actually screaming at us. So really just, I'm asking you to to slow down enough to really, take the time and listen in to what's going on in your body during this time. And I'm hoping that taking the time to really nourish yourself with great care and whole foods, and that's going to go far in kind of cluing into anything that is going on for you that you can check in on. And these daily practices should further enhance your experience with the reboot. And like I said, I'll go through a few of them here, and you're welcome to, try doing all of them if that sounds great to you, or maybe there's just a few that really call out to you. But the more you commit to yourself during this time, the more you're going to get out of the whole experience. And the first one that I want to talk about, which is probably not too surprising, is some form of gentle exercise. This doesn't have to be a really intense workout routine. If you already have an intense workout routine that you love and it fuels you and you want to keep doing that, please do so. You don't need to stop that. But I guess on the other hand, if you generally do a lot of really intense exercise, and the idea of sort of, taking a break to more gentle movement during this time, if that appeals to you, then feel free to do that. Regardless of what your current activity level is, the idea is just getting some form of exercise each day, at least 30 minutes every day. And that can be whatever that means to you. It can be a walk, it could be yoga, a hike, a swim, whatever calls out to you on these nice warm days. Just committing to some kind of daily movement while flooding your body with all this fresh produce and whole foods is going to really increase your energy and your mood, and you're just going to feel good and get more and more results out of everything that you're doing. So the next daily practice that I would recommend trying during this time is a mini meditation or breathing practice. And the idea here is that slowing down our minds and our breath for set periods of time each day really reduces stress, and it activates our parasympathetic nervous system, which lets us focus on resting and repairing and digesting. And whether we're aware of it or not, we're constantly being bombarded by stressors throughout the day, and our response to those stressors can have a really negative impact on our physiology. So actively slowing down through breathing or meditation can allow our bodies to really focus on that rest and repair and digestion instead of what it normally is focusing on. So I'm encouraging you to take just 10 to 15 minutes out of your day to slow down somewhere and focus on really slowing your mind and your breath. And there's different ways you can do this. If you like a formal meditation or are interested in learning a formal meditation, there are lots of guided programs out there online, or there are apps or books. Maybe adopt a practice that appeals to you if you want to try that, to do an actual meditation. You can also do a slow breathing practice. And there are different ways that you can do that as well. They often revolve around, you can count your inhalation, exhalations, and pauses of your breath. And two common versions of that. There's it's called the 4-7-8 method, or there's a 5-5-5. So basically, for each one, for example, the 4-7-8, you're inhaling for a count of 4. And you hold it for a count of 7, and then you very slowly exhale for a count of 8, and you repeat that several times or several minutes to kind of bring your body down into that very relaxed state. And similarly, with the 5-5-5, it'd be the same thing, but you're using the count of 5 for all of those pieces. So you're inhaling for 5, holding it for 5, and exhaling. And so you can experiment with whatever count feels good to you and relaxing. And there's absolutely no reason that you have to count if that does not sound appealing to you. You can just sit somewhere and find a nice place and quiet your mind and focus on slowing your breath and just enjoying breathing in the process of breathing. So the idea is just to force yourself into that slow down a little bit each day, and that encourages the parasympathetic response, which really lets you focus on that rest and digestion and repair. I put out a 10 to 15 minute as a goal. It seems like a reasonable amount of time to do, and actually that even just that small amount of time really will make a difference in your physiology. You're welcome, of course, to do it longer if you can. That's wonderful. But I'm just putting that out there as kind of a good goal to aim for. So I'd also really encourage you to be spending time outdoors. So like at least 20 minutes each day. Aside from getting all this wonderful infusion of vitamin D, you're going to get time and natural light, which helps set your circadian rhythm, which will improve your sleep and your energy, your hormone production, and your mood. Generally, the earlier you're able to get outside, the better. It just has a greater impact on setting that rhythm. But really, whenever works in your day that you're going to stick to is probably the best thing to go with. And you might be getting this time outside if you are exercising outside, or maybe you're doing your meditation or your breathing practice outdoors. You can double up on it. That's great. But some other ideas, of course, would be to just take your lunch outside, or maybe squeeze in a midday walk. Or if you have pets or kids that want to go out and play, that's a great way to go get some time outdoors. So that's something else hopefully can make time for. And another practice that can be really helpful and eye-opening during a reset is spending some time journaling each day or evening, whatever time of day works for you. And that can be whatever you want to make it. You could jot down your goals or your reasons for why you want to do a reset. Just check in with yourself throughout the week. Talk about how you're feeling, if you notice any changes or reactions, maybe to going without your favorite foods. You may have some unexplained emotions that pop up during it that you'll want to check in on. You could also use it for tracking things. Say if you wanted to check your weight or measurements or how your skin is doing. Really just make it your own practice, whatever that means to you. It can be really helpful and therapeutic. And this is a fun one. I'm asking you to please make some pampering self-care time. And there's different ways you can do that. I personally love drawing up a nice bath as like a treat at the end of the day, and it can kind of feel like a ritual of sorts. And it's a really nice way to eliminate stress, and it helps you get rid of built up toxins in your body. And you can make it even more of a detox bath by adding Epsom salts and essential oils. You'll actually find I have a little bath recipe of sorts in the workbook, which is basically just you add a cup or two of Epsom salts and maybe 8 to 10 drops of your favorite essential oil. Lavender can be really relaxing, but so really whatever appeals to you and feels good, make that your own little ritual. Similarly, if you have access to a sauna, that can be a great way of sweating out any built up toxins in your body. So get over there if you have access to a sauna. That's a great way to go. Another one is dry brushing your skin, and that really supports detoxification by stimulating your body's lymph flow, and that helps to remove toxins. It also sloughs off your dead skin cells and increases circulation and energy levels. So that can be a really nice practice, particularly in the morning, because it's really energizing. So those are all good ones to consider incorporating. And then I'm also recommending that you consider maybe some supplements to during this time. I'm going to go over some supplements that are particularly helpful while doing a reset or cleanse. But the first four supplements are really supplements that I would generally recommend to most people, that most people can often benefit from, but they can be particularly supportive during cleansing. The first is a high quality multivitamin and mineral supplement. And that's going to cover all of your B vitamins and minerals and important cofactors that you need for metabolism and detoxification. If you're missing any of those cofactors, and people often are, your detox processes can be impaired. So that can really help sometimes to take a nice multi. The second recommendation is a high quality fish oil or omega-3 supplement. And that's really good to support your cell membranes and for your hormone functioning. It has a lot of other great benefits like reducing inflammation in your body. If you're vegetarian, you can take an omega-3 supplement that's from algae and get the same benefits too. The next one are as antioxidants, which are really help the liver and detoxing. And you can get these in they're flavonoid rich extracts like green tea or grapeseed extract, or there are a lot of dehydrated greens powders out on the market that you can put into water or a smoothie just to get that extra dose of the antioxidants. And by the way, you'll in the workbook, I do have a list that includes some specific brands for each of these categories that I think are really good quality if you're looking for guidance, beyond the general categories. So you'll have access to that. I am also recommending that you get something probiotic each day. That's really good for your digestive system and your overall gut health. And actually eating something fermented and probiotic is really, I think, generally the best way to go. If you can get some sauerkraut or kimchi, I guess in this case, it would be a non-dairy yogurt, since we're taking a break from dairy, but there's a lot of coconut yogurts out there, and water kefirs and kombucha, those sorts of things. That's a great way to get probiotics. But if you don't do a lot of those, you could certainly consider a probiotic supplement as well. Let's see, and the next one is giving your body extra vitamin C, because that helps to raise your glutathione levels, which really helps for detoxifying. So you could consider taking some extra vitamin C. And then if you feel like your liver needs a little bit of extra TLC and attention, you could add in some supplements that help with your liver, like milk thistle, dandelion root, or burdock. And these often are found combined either as a supplement or just in like a tea. There's a lot of teas out there that you could have a cup of tea in the day to help support those processes within the liver. And then you could consider more fiber on top of the fiber you'll be getting from your food to further support detoxification. And again, like I said, there's a list with suggestions if you want some actual suggestions. I've also included a link to my supplement dispensary, which is through FullScript. So it's all high grade supplements, and you're welcome to set up a discount account through my dispensary if you like. They're all good quality, non-tampered. That's an option there if you want as well. So you'll see that in the workbook too. Okay, and so you have a few program resources. I've been talking quite a bit about the workbook, and you'll get these in a link from Banyan. But there's the program workbook includes kind of all the information I've gone over with the basic logistics for the food parameters, getting into the daily practices, that list of supplement suggestions and the link. And there's also a whole section on recipes, tips, and ideas. So they just give you ideas for ways to eat during this time, especially when you have a certain craving for something, like maybe you're missing a glass of wine and there's a fun mocktail you can do from there, or ideas just for if you have a sweet craving that is a more supportive way for your body to get that sweet craving. So there's different recipes and things in there. There's also just an overall list of good things to have on hand in your pantry and refrigerator during, really during any time, but particularly during a cleanse, just those basics to stock up. And there's also a daily tracking sheet if you like tracking what you're doing. So you can keep track, oh, I did, this practice and this practice, and I avoided, did I go without alcohol today? You can check, it'll just help you check off the list as you're going if you want to keep track of what you're doing. That can be really helpful. And so there's really two ways to go with this reset. And you can take the workbook and all the stuff that we've talked about with the parameters, and you can create your own meal plan for the week. If you kind of know what you like and don't like, and you're going to just create your own thing given these parameters and the ideas and recipes, that's great. So go for it. A lot of people like a more guided approach. So I also put together a detailed 7-day meal plan if you want to follow something that's really structured and just for the whole week, that you have that in there. So you'll see there, you'll get like, I don't know how well you can even see this, but it's sort of an overview of the meals for the week if you want to follow that plan. And then you also will have a link to all of the recipes that are included in there. So something like that. All your recipes, and there's a shopping list for that. And then there's another link that gives you meal prep and planning notes. So if you are following that, you may look at that and think, oh, it's suggesting that I go ahead and prep this on Sunday and this on Monday. And so you have that all kind of laid out. So you have your options. You can, depending on what calls out to you, you can follow the very detailed plan. You can just work within the parameters to do what feels right for you, or you could do something in between and just use the recipes whenever. So you have all those resources. I also set up a Facebook group. So the link is in the chat box, and that's a great place to go if you have any questions and you want to check in with people and maybe share ideas, recipes, anything like that. It's also a great place if you're looking for, if you want to link up with somebody and find an accountability partner, like to someone who's going to help you stay on task with the goals for the week. You could just do a shout out on there, like, hey, I'm looking for somebody to partner up and check in during the week. That's a great place to do that. So those are all the resources. And looking at the next steps from here, like I said, so it's Wednesday, the next couple days, you're going to want to look over all those resources and decide, if you're following the meal plan, if you're creating your own plan, decide what that's going to look like for you, and then go out and do your shopping, hopefully over the weekend or whenever works for you. Like I said, there's specific lists for that meal plan within it. And then there's also just more general pantry and fridge stocking list in the workbook if you're just wanting to get ideas for something you're putting together. So hopefully those will help as you go out and do your shopping. And think about any supplements that you'd want to incorporate. Maybe you grab those while you're out shopping, or you order them so you go way. Maybe you want to make sure you have a dry brush on hand, so you could grab one of those while you're out shopping, so you can do your dry brushing. You know, just really take the time to plan this weekend. And I feel like it's really helpful if you, starting Monday, you're just sort of ready to go. It can be really frustrating not to have all your ducks in a row and you're scrambling to find something to eat, or, you know, it's just good to be ready logistically, but also mentally, you know, kind of get prepared and say, okay, I'm ready to take this on, and I'm giving myself this big treat, this gift this week, and get excited for it and be all ready. And also take the time to join the Facebook group, hopefully, you know, over the weekend or sooner, so that we can start communicating that way as well. You guys are all also welcome to reach out to me via email, which I will be getting your email addresses, I believe. And I did not put I think my email address is probably on Banyan's site. I think that's listed. I'm not certain now. And then the last thing that we'll do at the end of the 7 days, we'll have another group check-in. So that'll just be an opportunity for us. It'll be very free form to check in on how things went for people, if they want to compare notes or talk about their experiences, or maybe talk about where they're going to go from there. That session is there for that. I guess we can stop sharing this. That's the end of the presentation. Okay. So, and again, all that information is within your resources. So hopefully if any of that went too quickly, it's all in there, and feel free to reach out. And we'll have a lot of time at the end, I believe, still for questions today. So I was just gonna move into a little food demo. It's gonna be a little bit funny the way I have my blender over here, so I'm gonna be a little back and forth and hoping that you can hear me right. But I thought it would be good to do this food demo as the smoothies. This is a smoothie that you have the recipe in the workbook actually, and in the meal planner. It's actually, if you follow the meal plan, it'll be the first recipe that you have on Monday morning. And also, I just feel like smoothies can be such a great snack or a mini meal, and it's a good way to get a lot of whole foods into your system. So I kind of wanted to talk about, as I do this, the components of what makes a healthy, balanced smoothie, because I just feel like that's a good tool to have, to just, you know, kind of take anything you have on hand and turn it into something that's going to really nourish you and taste good, and it can all happen really quickly. You know, it's fast and easy to pull together. You get an infusion of all this whole foods. They're really flexible, so you can make it whatever you have on hand, or whatever your taste preferences are. It can just be fun and creative. So the basic components to any smoothie, at least that I think would be nice and balanced, and you know, you start with some kind of a liquid or base, which can, in this case, it's going to be, oh, sorry, I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Sorry. I'm going to bring the blender over here while I do this. And grab the base. So this is almond milk, but other base ideas could be really any kind of milk, whether it's non-dairy or dairy, depending on what your diet is generally. Water, coconut water. You can use herbal teas as a base. You can use yogurt if you want something thicker. So any sort of a liquid base. I'm going to put that in. So that's the first component. And then the second component are your fruits and veggies. And in this case, since I'm following the recipe, I'll be using, for the fruit, a frozen banana, which will add a nice sweetness, and it's frozen, so it'll be refreshing, and it gives a nice creaminess to the smoothie. So I'm going to grab that. Frozen banana, not as frozen as it was. And then for veggie, I have some kale here. Since again, I'm following the recipe, but I mean, I love using greens in smoothies. I feel like they make a nice neutral flavor. Like they're not overpowering, even though you might feel like they would be. And you can really use any green that you have on hand. You can use spinach, lettuce, chard, kale. So I just tend to, with kale, I tend to strip it, and because I don't like putting that, it can make it a little too chunky. I mean, we do like the fiber, but that's maybe too much. And so,
Can you use bananas that are not frozen?
yes, yeah, you definitely can do that. And if you still, I guess it depends on your goal. If you still want it to be cold, just throw some ice in and a regular banana. Or if you don't mind, if it's going to be, it just won't be as cold because it's not frozen. But you can definitely do that, and I do, especially if I don't have a frozen banana on hand.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got my, so far we got the liquid base, the fruit and veggie, and then another important component is getting in. I like to get some kind of healthy fat and protein. And that's for the same reasons that I was talking about earlier, just to kind of have that balance of your macronutrients. It's going to give you energy and fuel and do a lot for your body in terms of, you know, your hormones and your muscles, and it's going to give you staying power too. You're going to feel fueled. So I'll turn around and grab my ingredients for that. So I have almond butter here that I'm just gonna dump into the blender, which I guess I should be showing you the blender. So I have sort of a funny setup here. So almond butter, and I also have hemp seeds. So dumping those in. Those are both nice. They're both a good source of both healthy fat and protein. I like to put those in there. And then the last component. So I've kind of broken this up. We have the liquid or base. You have your fruits and veggies. You have your healthy protein and healthy fats. And then the last bit I just call your flavor add-ins, and that's where you can really cater it to what you like, and it can be really fun. You could toss cinnamon, vanilla, unsweetened cocoa powder, cocoa nibs, anything to add some flavor that you like. Ginger, I mean, really anything goes. So I'm going to turn around. And I have cinnamon, and the recipe has measurements, but I'm not too worried. I love cinnamon, so I'm just going to toss some cinnamon in. Again. Okay. And so then I have all my components in there, and all I have to do is give it a whirl, which I can do really quickly. I'm going to mute myself though, because it shouldn't take too long. It'll take less than a minute. So I will just mute myself so that that's not obnoxious for you guys to listen to. Okay, and so there it is. have a nice, quick snack or meal. And you're getting tons of fiber, nutrients, lots of foods in there. So and you can really do that with anything you have on hand. And it's so great when it's hot. So, and it's easy for your body to digest. That's the nice thing when it's blended up like that. You're still getting all the fiber, but it's a little bit less on your system to have to digest it because there's just less work for your body to do. So yeah, and that's it for the presentation bit. And I really, like I said, I wanted to make sure there was plenty of time to answer any questions and check in to see how you guys feel about this or anything, so you feel prepared come Monday. Anyone has any questions?
So for I have a question. For the smoothie that you just made, you use almond butter. Is it okay to substitute with coconut butter, or is it weird?
That would be fine. You might want to just do a little bit more of the hemp seeds to make sure you're getting more protein. But yeah, I bet that would be tasty.
Yeah, so the only reason I asked was I bought the wrong thing. One time I was supposed to buy the coconut oil, and I bought all these coconut butter, and I was about to throw it away. So
coconut butter is so good for a lot of things. You can do a lot of treats with that, and there's a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, I think it would be delicious in a smoothie.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't know what to do. I was really about to throw it away.
So don't do that. Yeah.
Okay, so this, I have another question for the tea. I mean, I don't drink coffee, but I drink tea. Does it have to be is green tea not good because it's caffeinated? Or?
I know green tea is wonderful for a lot of reasons. It's okay. That's why I kind of hesitated with the caffeine, because there are some benefits to caffeine for sure. And if your body does well with it and you're used to it, that's fine. It was more, a lot of people end up really relying on caffeine heavily. And so the idea was if that's you and you're drinking 6 cups of coffee each day, that maybe you want to give your adrenals a little bit of a break. But green tea is wonderful. I mean, it's wonderful for a lot of reasons. It has a lot of wonderful antioxidants in it. It's linked to weight reduction and anti-cancer. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful reasons to definitely have green tea.
Okay,
it's a wonderful choice.
Okay, I have one last question. So one time I learned how to cook like a vegetable soup, and when I looked at the recipe, it has like really good vegetables all the vegetables that I like. But then we have to add a lot of what do you call those? Like vegetable broth that I bought from the market. So is that processed, or is there a substitute? Should we cook out vegetable broth?
Well, let's see. If you're, I know I understand the whole process thing does lead, because literally, I mean, I could call this processed. I just processed it, right? I think a good rule is you look at the ingredients, and if it's really clean and pure, like you understand what all those ingredients are in there, and it's something that you could have put together, I think that's fine. As long as it doesn't have any funny fillers in it or thickeners, I think if it's very natural, that is fine in this case, if you're wanting to save a step. Likewise, if you like, even one of the recipes suggests that it's a pancake recipe, which is mostly like a banana base, but it uses a little bit of oats, and you can grind those oats directly, or like throw them in your blender and turn them into, like, it's just a little part of the pancake, even though technically it's been processed. But it was a whole food that you just turned into something. I think that's fine in this situation. It's really just a matter of thinking about what you're putting in your body, and making sure that it is whole food based. If that makes sense.
So maybe I can just add water instead, right?
Oh, you could do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because only because like because I love it, it tasted really good, so I drank a lot, and it didn't feel very good after. Because
Oh,
my husband loves it. It's
yeah.
just that if I have a lot, because I love to, have soups and liquids and stuff.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
also,
And you can find, if you don't want to make broths, you can find some nice clean broths at certain markets that have minimal ingredients.
do you have recipe for broth?
I'm trying to remember, in the meal plan there isn't. I think I have a bone broth one in the workbook, but I'm not certain. And if I don't, I'm happy to find one, and I can post it to you guys somehow, or email it.
Okay.
So I'll check.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want like a vegetable or bone, or do you
I can do either.
any kind of, okay. I do have some broth recipes. I just can't remember if they are in the workbook. They're definitely not part of the meal plan, but there might be.
Probably just add it to your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, any other questions or concerns?
Did we already get the workbook, or are you sending that now, or when do we get that?
So I'm going to step in here. So yes, you're going to receive quite a bit of information. It looks like you'll be receiving it around 7:30 tonight.
Oh.
If for any reason you don't receive it, message info@Banyan Women, and we'll make sure to get it directly to you. But it'll be a link that will take you to our website. So it's like a private link, and it'll have everything that Rachel is giving you, as well as Rachel's information. And I believe the Facebook information is on there too. So it will encompass all the things.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Anything?
I'm really excited, but I don't know, kind of nervous. It's all stuff I've tried to do, at certain times, different things, and to just do it all together. I'm hoping this structure of the workbook and just the 7 days is going to help to really get me to do it this time. And so I'm really excited. Thank you very much for both of you for doing this.
I just pretend it's a vacation, even though it's a work week.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Keep that in mind. And it's 7 days. And I try to put a lot in there to feel like you're treating yourself. And you can really, make these incredible things that fuel you and feel good too, and taste good. So hopefully I think it's going to work for you.
Yeah, I mean, as a practitioner as well, every client that I work with, we start with a reset, and they commit to 7 days. I try to have them commit to 15 days, and I'd say 96% of the people I've worked with over the years will love the way that they feel. And she's giving you a much more gentler approach. So my suggestion is try 7 days at this gentle approach. And then once you make that 7 days, there's nothing that says that you can't keep going, because you're not pulling things out that could be detrimental to your health. A lot of these diets that just strip you of all these things, these like important things, like we say, like keto, like all of a sudden you're not eating all these important fruits and vegetables because now you're phobic over carbs. This kind of thing allows you to get into a groove, and then you can decide to start removing some different things and giving your body a rest. And it's just a rest, right? Because we still want to have our good wine, and we still want to have our sourdough, and we still want to have those things. We just need to give our bodies a break. And the biggest thing is, if you know that you're going to get withdrawals from caffeine, then that's a sign that you need to take a break and you need to let your body reset, because we don't, in the end, we don't want to be addicted to something that it actually is a part of how we function now, right? So I hope you guys will join her Facebook group. I hope you'll be vocal in there too and speak up when you're um, finding something hard, or maybe you don't understand a recipe, and like actually work as community, because a lot of really great successes come when we all work as community and we support each other. And if you have great recipes, don't leave it out, share them, right? That's what it's about. But
I need to find recipes.
he's about to give you a whole you're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff. And another thing, I've looked over all of her materials, and I really hope that you do utilize this, because it can keep you on track, and it's another form of accountability. And it's just 7 days. And if that means you say, for 7 days I'm going to do this all out, and then my payoff is as much wine as I want on the 8th day, so be it. You're giving your body room to breathe and to reset, and that's what we're looking for.
Absolutely.
I do want to address, though, for the on the 13th, I'm probably messing the day up.
The groups, it's the 13th.
13th, okay. We will be sending the link to remind you about the class, and it's 45 minutes. So I really hope that you guys show up to talk about what went really well, what was tough. Practitioners, we rely on hearing from our clients the experiences, because it allows us to say, oh, we did that really good. Oh, I'm going to work on this next time. So your information will help Rachel say, okay, I'm going to keep developing this, or I'm going to change this up a little bit, and that's just going to help other people. So it's all about that community. So please make sure that you schedule. It's 45 minutes on Sunday the 13th.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
are we excited? Are we going to do this?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be easy for me because I like all the food that she just listed.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
Good. Yeah. And remember, think of it as a gift. Like, really, nothing in there should be unpleasant. It's see how you feel, making sure that have I spent any time outside today? And like, oh wow, I really like spending time outside, or all those little things. Just try to carve out the time and tell yourself that you're important enough to do this, and to really take the time and make the commitment. And again, it is just those 7 days, and I'm here to support you, and you have each other. So please, if you want to link up and find a partner to help you get through, or just holler out and say, hey, I'm having a really bad day. And but also go easy on yourself. If you, like I said, if it seems like too much to cram all those practices in, and there's just two that really feed you, then focus on that. It's really meant to support you and to make you feel good.
Day where you mess up, guess what? You have the next day.
Exactly.
Start back up. It's really as simple as that. This is, feel blessed that you're not in a position that this is medically necessary, and that this is really just you showing up for you to better yourself. Because doing this when you're faced with something that's a medical reason is a very different set of circumstances. And universe willing, God willing, none of you are here because of that. You're just here to better yourself and take care of yourself. So you can do for 7 days, right?
Yeah. I think I'm going to practice this one and then do a cleansing when I'm really busy on a busy week. I'm going to use this as a practice and then save it and then in January or something next year.
Right. And we'll continue to do things like this within Banyan, because the one thing I would say about this in January is it might be too cold for your body.
Oh.
That's when we want.
Then you might want to focus more on frost.
Yeah, we want to eat seasonally. And another thing I just want to put out there for all you fellow Californians is farmers market, right? So the reason we decided to do today, Wednesday, is so tonight you can get the information, you can look over it Thursday, maybe even look over at Friday and start to make your plan, and then you shop Saturday and you can shop Sunday and you start prepping on Sunday. So Monday, when work and life, you're not freaking out over I didn't do this and I didn't do that. So you're using this time to really get ready for your next 7 days. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. And in that, if you are following the set meal plan, that the little meal prep guide will even show you like, oh, I suggest on Sunday you're getting this and this and this done, so that way Monday is going to be a lot easier. So
yeah, Rachel's really made it easy for you to follow this. So once again, if you don't receive the information, let's say by 8 o'clock tonight, email info@Banyan. I will probably look at my email just to double check around 9, and then I'll be looking at email again tomorrow. If you don't receive it, I'll make sure that you get it tomorrow morning. If anything, if you have any questions, you can reach out directly to Rachel. You can reach out to me. I'll be available. And I believe Rachel's going to check in with everyone on Sunday just to be like, nudge, nudge, how you doing? Are you freaking out? Are you excited? And then everybody's going to start on Monday. Yeah, go team.
hey.
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
I am. All right, guys. So good luck. You got this. And we'll see everybody on the 13th.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Hope to hear from you all on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. And get on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Bye.
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 Bye.